Dane, did you happen to see the news about the college football
Let's just assume that
playoffs?
I didn't. What happened, Deonte? Let's say I was living underneath a rock. What happened, Deonte? Please do tell.
So, looks like the college football playoff committee is talking about expanding the number of teams from 4 to 12. At the earliest it could happen is the year 2023, from what I've been reading.
Mm.
Um, I've seen arguments on both sides as far as no, we shouldn't expand, or yes, we should expand, but we should expand to 16 teams, or we should only expand to 8 teams. I like the idea of 12, and here's why.
32 for me, but go ahead.
We getting a little March Madness. I wouldn't hate that either, but I'll just go with the argument anything above 4, because why not give other teams the opportunity? The argument I hear is, well, Alabama's going to end it anyway, so okay, let them go win it, but give those other opportunities, give those other teams a chance to at least have a chance, because a lot of the times we are in October, November,
Mm.
where the season's already decided as far as the top 4 teams, 6 teams maybe. But and then you see the aspect of players leaving early, the end of the season not meaning so much, and I think this will bring more meaning to the season from October through December. What do you think?
Mm. Um, Me personally, I think it needs to be widened. We know that the playoff system can work. We've seen it work for the past umpteen years in the FCS, the subdivision, Division One AA, if you will. We've seen it work. Every single year, a new champion or a champion has been crowned, and there has been dominance in the FCS rankings. We've seen that with your North Dakotas. We've seen it work in your Division threes with your was it James Madison, of course, and they moved up. We've seen that it's possible. It's just a matter of doing things for the sake of doing them because it's different, not doing things because this is how we've always been doing them. They got rid of the BCS system. Thankfully, that was a mess. It was just a money grab. We know that. And we earned this college football playoff format with 4 teams, and that's super questionable. Like, why 4 teams? But we want to keep respect to college football players because they should be compensated for their work. They are $1 billion generators for the entity that is known as the NCAA. Let's call it what it is. They bring in a lot of money, and for that, they should be compensated and they should be rewarded with an authentic playoff system. Um, the guys that make up these rules or the committees that make up these rules are so far removed from reality. If you ask any of these players, they will tell you they want to compete. And in order to compete, you have to play against the best. And if you want to play against the best, there has to be some sort of rigorous, fair and rigorous system. And the only way to do that is have multiple teams, a number of teams to compete at the end of the school year. And the thing about it is you're going to have players that are going to opt out. That's always going to happen. Anytime you have these players that are in the highest in the running for the Heisman or in the running to make hundreds of millions of dollars in their future, they're going to sit out, and that's okay. That is their right to do that. But because of the NCAA and the machine that it has become today, there is a next man up mentality, and that exists, and that's okay. Um, I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what has to happen, but it needs to happen 32, 64, whatever team playoff. And there's going to be a way that they can format it. It's just a matter of them doing it and they can monetize the whole thing because I'm sure that's the whole hold up in the first place is if we eliminate all these games, these bowl games, we won't be able to like let's woosah, let's have a moment. We can have
At the end of
why
the
not
day, that's what
both?
they try to get off.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it's
Yeah.
it's it's madness, but
At the end of the day, it's a money grab, and that's what they're gonna try to reach
oh
for.
yeah.
I think 12 teams. I don't think they would ever go as high as 32. 12. I mean, it's pending approval right
Yeah.
now, which would be the start of the end of the 23 season. Is a good number. You give the power teams or the Power Five champions in there, and then you get the at larges and maybe a group of 5 competitive teams. But we have what now? 14. The NFL just expanded to 14, and I don't think there's ever been an argument about how the playoff is structured. I know there has been the last year or so, or even last year when they added those 2 extra playoff teams. But for the most part, we've always it's always been a consensus that the NFL playoff is just. It gives the teams chances. Like we've seen a 6 seed go on to win the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? So that'd be great to see a player or a team, that is not favored or ranked lower than the high seed to go on and make a Cinderella run to win. Why not give them a chance? You see Cinderellas in college basketball all the time. So to give the college football sense of that same kind of Cinderella story would be cool to see.
No argument there, brother. No argument there.
Yeah, man.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yes, sir. And then Dan, you were
Nearwood.
talking about the we were talking about the NIL, the players getting paid. From the USA Today on June 14th, Texas Governor Greg Abbott signs into law the name, image, and likeness bill. When we had Colin on
Shout out
earlier,
to Colin
a
one time.
few weeks ago, yeah, shout out to Colin. There was a story of it passing in the House, but it needed to go to the governor. And this is the governor signing that bill. Governor Greg Abbott on Monday signed a Senate bill that will allow college athletes in the state to earn compensation for use of their name, image, and likeness, as Texas becomes the 19th state to pass such landmark legislation. Said, I'm thrilled to hear that Governor Abbott signed the Texas NIL bill into law, said Rep. Matt Cross, who sponsored the bill in the House along with Rep. Jim Murphy. The legislation will ensure Texas college athletes receive fair compensation for their efforts and prowess on the field, court, and everywhere they display their talents. As we mentioned before, the House had approved by a 117 to 2017 or 27 vote Senate bill that got sent to the governor. So basically, we had mentioned this a couple episodes ago. Florida already has this passed. California already has this passed. It was only a matter of time before the governor signed this bill for Texas. And, the athletic directors have been really pushing hard for this so they can compete with the California schools and the Florida schools for athletes worrying about an NIL bill, worrying about getting paid. Dane, what do you think about this?
It's not going to make any difference. There isn't a look. I'm gonna stand on the same argument that I said last time. And crazy thing is, I said this. If we go back a few episodes, I said, "Ain't nobody scared of Texas. Ain't nobody scared of any Texas teams. There's no powerhouse. We don't have a I'm sorry. I don't mean to throw anybody that's a fan of any of these Texas schools under the bus, but there isn't a Clemson. There isn't there isn't a Clemson here. There isn't an Alabama here. We don't have that team. We don't. There's not. There isn't an Ohio State here. We don't have that program here. That program hasn't emerged yet. You ask 10 different people who's going to be the best team in the state of Texas in terms of college football, you're going to get 7 different answers, guaranteed. You ask that question about Alabama. You ask that question in the state of California. I don't know. California might be a toss-up. You ask it in Oklahoma, you're going to get one answer. You ask it in Ohio, they're going to get one answer. And that's not a diss to any athletes in Texas. It's more of a challenge. Texas needs to get back to where it needs to be at. And in order for that to happen, this might help that. And two, I made a joke about the only way that Texas will probably come out of the slump that they've been in is, the UT, the hook 'em horn guys. They come out of the slump that they've been if they get something consistent or something good at quarterback. And I threw not a jab, but I said that the Manning kid, he looked like he was going to be good. And recently, within the last 2 weeks or so, he and two of his buddies, or not two, he and two other 4 or 5 star recruits, they took an official visit to UT and they were in the uniforms, and I was like, oh man, like that'd be kind of cool.
Did you see how he flipped the ball during
Yeah,
that
before the
workout when he
throw,
did his drop back?
he got it. He got it.
He got some wheels
He
too.
got
He
it.
ain't like his uncles.
Nah, he ain't slow like that. They knew. They watched the film. They said, this is where you're gonna get better at, kid. You need to you see that Trevor Lawrence kid? Now that boy can run. You need to get like that guy. So he's I know quarterback is one of the hardest positions to transition to from high school to college and from college to the pros, but this is an exciting thing. And this is a testament to how old we are, bro. We got to watch the Manning brothers light it up in the NFL and the teams that they were on. And now the second coming or the third coming of that generation, and the new and improved Manning, we get to see that. So I'm excited about where he's going to go, only because it could be the University of Texas, and it could be good for them and all the UT fans here. But that's a story for another day about their dominance or their claim to fame again. They got some other issues, some culture issues they need to address before that happens, but we'll see.
Yeah. Coming back into the NIL thing, like
Bring it back.
one of the
Bring
things
it
I
back.
thought one of the things I thought of again is like how the EA Sports executives must be like this, like, ish, my plan is
Falling right
coming to
into.
fruition.
They're sitting in a chair
Right.
in a dark room, and it's like close. Yes, yes, and a sinister. I don't know, a sinister lap kitten is walking around because there has to be a sinister. It's probably black or something. Just walking around. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That same episode with Colin, I mentioned how, you know, EA Sports is just waiting.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they mentioned this in the article initially, kind of clarifying, like, you know, we know there are rules that are laws that are trying to go into effect right now, as far as if we'll be able to put players' names in the games and stuff like that. So with this news, it's like kind of going along with, you know, what they've been waiting for, and it's still 2 or 3 years down the line before the game is starting to get made. So
It's a start still.
maybe by that time, right, this is the 19th state to put this into law. By the time they start working on it, you might have every, you know, country or every state in the country already signed this law into action. So if I'm EA Sports, I'm loving what I'm seeing right now with the NIL bill going to effect. Still some stuff that, you know, still got to work out in the end. But overall, I feel like this is a win for them, and hopefully a win for us if the game comes out and it's great, like we used to love.
Selfishly, of course,
games back in the day.
This is our moment to be selfish. We apologize. We understand the struggle of this entire thing is the whole goal is not for us to enjoy another video game, but essentially that's where we're at here as has-beens.
Yeah.
Sorry.